Americans in the 1970s, which is, I brought it up because Secretary Clinton brought it up today, and I wanted to give him a chance to respond. As you know, he's added the notion that Hillary Clinton is a bigot to his repertoire, and he stuck by it when I spoke with him today. You called last night Hillary Clinton a bigot. Previously, you called her policies bigoted. You directly called her a bigot.
Well, she is a bigot because you look at what's happening to the inner cities. You look at what's happening to Americans and Hispanics in this country, where she talks all the time. She's talking, look at the vets, where she said the vets are being treated essentially just fine, that it's over-exaggerated what's happening to the vets not so long ago.
But how is she bigoted? Bigoted is... Well, Hillary Clinton now, at the same time that she's essentially leveling a similar charge.
Donald Trump has a history of bigotry in areas that we can point to, starting with the housing discrimination case in the 1970s, where it wasn't just once, it was, 3 times the Justice Department had to go after him for it. That it starts there, and then the Central Park. None of those candidates had an actual record that people could point to. Donald Trump has a problem in this area, and Hillary Clinton, God help me, but she laid out a pretty good case about that today. Documented. We're not making this up. Look, Donald Trump, even with the documented cases, even in his language, the way that he speaks about the issues in the minority communities is stereotyping and insulting. Jack Kemp, who was someone who influenced me a lot. Jack Kemp approached everything from an economic perspective, and he said that, economic empowerment knows no color, and that people of all colors, they want an access to the ladder of opportunity, that everybody, including black families, Hispanic families, everybody, they want the ability to make a living, educate their children, and leave a nest egg for their kids. And if Donald Trump approached things
with this secret server and the bleach being put to it where you can't, nobody,
Clinton Foundation.
Absolutely. All that comes up all of a sudden, bam, let's go after Donald Trump being a bigot. I made a couple notes. She did support Robert Byrd. This was her icon. Let me tell you what Robert Byrd said. He said, I shall never fight in the armed forces with a Negro by my side. You want to talk about bigot? That is bigot.
And Robert Byrd apologized, He apologized for that and spent
with
a
his
lot of
voting base
adult life apologizing for that.
Those votes. In 1964, he was still filibustering. He organized the KKK.
Tara, don't step on him because no one can hear anything.
He organized 150 members of the KKK in West Virginia. It wasn't like he was just a member. He organized it. And then in the 60s, he blocked it. She also was against same-sex marriage. Now she swapped. She says she hadn't swapped, but she did. She mentioned super predators. She talked about carrying hot sauce in her purse. She actually
does do that, I have to say.
I want to be fair. Usually, I'm the most fair, even keel guy here, but this really aggravates me. I got a whole lot more left.
There's a lot more
about the charge that Democrats often will level this charge against Republicans.
There is something to the fact that Democrats in election after election have said this about a candidate. It was said about Mitt Romney. It was said in certain ways that she levels at him, Clinton, he levels basically back in its same form. He does have opportunities he could take that he is not availing himself of, and that has been confusing. He lives in a city with a large black community. There are churches he could go to. There are places outside of Trump Tower he could go to where, yes, there is a risk of some booing, but he also would probably be well received for at least doing it. And they're not doing those things, and those could be effective for him.
Up next, we're going to have more of my interview with Donald Trump. I asked him if he is embracing the alt-right movement, which is something Hillary Clinton charged him of today, how he